Late Night with Gabe Morency on Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 204.
TSN.ca or CFL.ca. There you go. You'll get your live CFL updates for your final scores. The games are on ESPN as well. Let's bring in Mick Aussie. I got a split tonight, and I like the under more, but I took the Argonauts plus the points, Mick, and they nearly covered, actually. Like, I can't really complain. They were right there. Winnipeg's defense is damn good. How you doing, Mick?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. And Adam Big
sure?
Hill, he's like my height. He's 5'10". Like, if he was 6 foot or 6'2", he'd still be in the NFL at the New Orleans Saints. What an amazing CFL player. And yes, that defense is very good. But real quick, our boy Clam Chowder, up until tonight, he was 5 out of 6 money line, including the Grey Cup when the Bombers upset the Tiger Cats. So Clam's been on fire, beating all of us on the money line in the win.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff, Mick. All right. I got caught off guard by Mick coming in here. So as I was saying, yeah, we hit the under here tonight. We hit the under. The Argonauts nearly covered. They were close. All right. They were getting 7.5 points. They were down 10-7, or 9-7 was 9-7, whatever, and then they were down 16-7. They were always like one score away from covering. It was very frustrating. And then at the end of the game, the Argonauts were moving the ball down the field, and I was like, you know what? I think we're going to backdoor cover this thing right now. I think they're going to score, but then Arbuckle fumbled. Nick Arbuckle fumbled, but it was a good game. And Winnipeg, very hard-hitting team. So you're going to the game, I assume, tomorrow, right, Mick?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be like 33 degrees Celsius. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit for you Americans. Probably about 90 Fahrenheit is my guess. 5 p.m. start, so it's going to be a magnificent afternoon. I hope the game's a bit better than last week, the thunderstorms and the rubbishy game, but looking forward to my second favourite team versus your favourite team, the Montreal Alouettes versus the Elks, mate. Should be a good one. I think Elks are just favourite.
They'll be your second favourite teams of your teams. I saw, Mick, last week, you had a BC Lions jersey with an Edmonton Eskimo logo on it. Patch. Was I seeing things, or did I see that truly? Have you now started to combine CFL jerseys and stuff and team logos? You're going to make a jersey with all of them on one?
I have some mates here that know I'm BC Lions #1, but they stick stickers on me, and they make me drink the right beer. I can't drink Pilsner because then the Eskimo Elks fans get upset. So, yeah, they stick stuff on me, Gabe.
No, but imagine, like, is that a sticker or a patch?
That was just a sticker. I wouldn't patch something on. I'm not that silly. But, yes, I am BC Lions #1. You know that.
I don't know, Mick, if you're BC Lions #1. We haven't seen you at a Lions game in a lot of years.
All right. This is the truth of the matter. At the last 2 Grey Cups, I have worn my BC Lions jersey for the whole weekend, including at the Edmonton Eskimos party. So BC Lions #1, but I do like the Elks, the Eskimos, and it's my hometown, and I'm here to stay until I go back to Australia. Well, unless I get offered $1 million to move somewhere. But no, this is my town. I do like the Elks/Eskimos. But BC, you should never swap teams unless you really, really have to, and that's my motto.
The only two, but you're not a Stamps guy. You don't like Mick doesn't like the Stampeders. So Mick is a Denver Bronco fan. Mick is a Denver Bronco fan, and I was just telling you, their win total is 8.5 wins, Mick. So that means they need to go 9-8 this year, 17 games in the NFL. I don't think the Denver Broncos are going to win 9 games, Mick, this year. What do you think?
Well, you know what really surprised me? I just looked at the odds, and can you believe this? We are 9th favourite to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,000. We got better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Tennessee Titans. So that's not FanDuel. That's another mob because I can't get on FanDuel here. There's something wrong there. Surely the Titans are more of a chance to win the Super Bowl than the Broncos. But like last year, Gabe, I do like our team. But depth is probably our problem. Our starting lineups, I mean, we've got some great wide receivers. Our defense is looking better. But depth, if we get injuries, we are gone. If we keep a healthy team, I think we'll do quite well.
Let's see the Broncos schedule. All right, the Broncos open up the season at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, baby. Oh, that's a big one. Denver at the Giants. Both teams like trying to get the season started on the right note. Broncos at Jags. You get Trevor Lawrence. Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf. You get Trevor Lawrence. Jets at Broncos. You'll beat the Jets. Ravens at Broncos. Broncos at Steelers. Raiders at Broncos. Broncos at Browns. Washington at Broncos. Broncos Cowboys. Eagles at Broncos. Chargers at Broncos. Broncos at Chiefs. Lions at Broncos. Bengals at Broncos. Broncos at Raiders. Broncos at Chargers. Chiefs at Broncos. Yeah, that's not a 9-win season, I see. That's not a 9-win season.
That's not a real hard draw, though. There's some very winnable games on there. I think we can do it. We'll be close.
Not a hard draw. It's a hard draw. It's a real hard draw. Bring it.
Coming to you.
You will, but you won't. You think you win, but you won't.
The late night anger management class. This is Sports Rage. And I'll tell you what. So, Mick, I've been saying this, and me and Cam were talking about this. There's something about the CFL. It's a unique league. It's almost like your family or something. That you might be rivals, but it's like, all right, you know what I mean? We're getting together with the family. We're playing football again. Things might get heated, but it's like it's not the same. It's not the same passion and hate of other football leagues. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not selling tickets. It doesn't mean that people aren't into the game and stuff, but it's not that look at all these other sports leagues and stuff, guys. All right, where you hear about fights and stuff, Dodgers and Giants fans, and you see it in the NBA, Phoenix Suns and Nugget fans, and all these fights and all this stupid stuff. Oh, Suns in 4, and they start fighting and stuff. Oh, go Clippers, and so it leads to a fight. It's stupid. I've never seen people fight at a CFL game over the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I've never seen a fight at a CFL game before, but I've never been to an NFL game that I haven't seen a fight at, right? It's different. No, it's true. I'm thinking about it now. I've never seen a fight at a CFL game before in the stands, ever. I've never seen a fight. Like, I'm just thinking about it now. The only fight was me getting into it with security once in Montreal. It's the only time I was ever fight was with me. But, a bunch of goons. But, I don't have a problem, Mick. We bust your balls, but it's true. And I asked Cam this because Cam, I like most of the teams myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm an Alouette fan, but and it's funny because I used to not like the Argos, but when I lived in Toronto, I went to Argo games and they weren't good, but I liked them. And I've always liked the BC Lions. It's one of those deals in the CFL. It's not the same. It's not like a college conference. Like, I hate Michigan State. Like, I'm a Michigan, like, I really don't like Michigan State. Like, I hate Michigan State more than Ohio State, right? Like, I actually dislike some schools and some teams and stuff, but in the CFL, it's not the same. Cam surprised me, Mick. I asked Cam, and he didn't even hesitate. I said, which is the one team that you don't like in the CFL that you hate? and he said the Ottawa Red Blacks. He said, I don't like the Ottawa Red Blacks. He said, I think their gimmick is stupid. He's a Leaf fan, though. He doesn't like Ottawa. I think it's just sort of a... But he likes the Senators, so it's not really true. I should have confronted him on that. I will. I'm going to ask him. He likes the Sens. Which the team you hate the most? It's the Stampeders, right?
Yeah, see, you know what? I shouldn't say this because I've got some great friends down there, and I do like Dave Dickinson, and I do like Bo Levi, Jeans Mitchell, but the arrogance, mate. Like John Chicker, mate, was sitting behind them last night, right behind where the players are, and I've sat there with the big bosses in Calgary, but it's little arrogance, and the players just think they're too arrogant. But the Riders really upset me when Chris Jones cheated, and they got a bit smart because they won a couple of Grey Cups. But no, I don't mind. The Stamps and the Riders would be the two that I don't like, but I don't hate anyone. But no, you're right, and you're right. The only fights I've seen is with security guards in BC, so I agree with you about no fighting. But there's a real cult of diehard fans every year go to the Grey Cup. And they're the people that don't like to diss the CFL, and they get upset at some of the media in Toronto dissing the CFL. So it's just growing, eh?
That's what it is, Mick. You're right, because people that like the CFL love the CFL, and they don't want to see, like, they're very protective of it. So it's like, even if it's not your team, you watch the Grey Cup, and it's a big party, and everybody goes, right? Like, I don't know. It's very hard to describe the CFL fan base. Like, it's because people do get ripped and people get cut and stuff, but it's not the same media coverage or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you drop a pass and cost a team a game, it's forgotten about by like 2 days later. Right, like the coaching staff will be more pissed than the media, and they might cut your ass for it, but like, it's not the same. Like, you won't get harassed like in a bar. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on a, you know what I mean? It's just different. Like, it's not like, oh, you guys suck, man. Like, if you're on an NHL team in Canada and your team sucks, like, people will fight you in a bar. They're like, you're an embarrassment to the Winnipeg Jets, right? Like, people will get in their face. The Bombers, I don't know. There's a different love for the game. It's intense, but I guess, I don't know, a good way of putting it basically is like, there's like a lot of hockey fans there. So I was saying that, like, how many people at a Bomber game are sitting there talking about the Jets with each other, right? Like, each city's a little different. But look at you. You're a good example, Mick. You go to the CFL games and you love the league, but you go for the party, right? You walk around, you film stuff, and you make videos, and you like the party atmosphere at the game. You're not sitting in your seat watching every play and stuff. You like the atmosphere, right? And it's funny because Montreal is like that in a sense where even when they're good like outdoors, it's the best party ever almost. But half the people there are just there for the party. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they know the quarterback's name. You know what I mean? They don't, you know what I mean? They're not going to cry if the team loses. Like, it's like one of those type. It's almost like an amusement park. Like, you go to a Montreal game, there's like 25% of the people are like the old sort of diehard Alouette fans that are into it, like the football aspect. The other half are like, teenagers on dates and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? The other half are just drunk dudes that have no friends, so they go get wasted at an Alouette game. Right? Like, there's sort of like, there's different levels of like this stuff, but it's a fascinating league, and I'll tell you, the quality of play has been good. I hope Montreal beats Edmonton tomorrow. So I hope you're going to see your team lose again, unfortunately.
Well, I tell you about Montreal. One of the friendliest guys towards me on Twitter is Vernon Adams Jr., the quarterback. For some reason, he likes me and he's really friendly. And because of you, I don't dislike the Alouettes at all. But going back, one of my friends of 20 years died a month ago, Brian Edwards Escanator. And TSN did amazing story about him in the third quarter last week. And I was talking to his wife before the game. So that just shows how much Glenn Suter and the TSN respect amazing fans like Escanator.
No, that's cool. Yeah, there's a connection to the fans. Jazz says you probably don't see it. Snap. Let me ask you, how much of the game do you see when you go to the game? You see it on the TV in the concourses, I guess, and stuff like that too. They have it on TV in the concourse.
Yeah, I mean, you did, right. I say to myself at the start of the game, okay, let's watch the game, And someone will come along and grab my hat or tap me on the shoulder because we stand in the end zone. But it's summertime, Gabe. We're out, and I record the games, and I actually watched the game again last week when I got home the next day. Because, yes, sometimes we have trouble focusing on the game. But when there's a lot of scoring, absolutely we'll watch a lot. But last week was a bit average. So let's hope it's higher scoring tomorrow. Trevor Harris or Alongo Sewell, the former Edmonton player, dissed Trevor Harris this week, and he reckons Trevor Harris is a bit brittle, and he's probably right. Harris is good, but he's a bit injury prone. But we got Ellenson and Walker. So Edmonton have got a good offense. I think it could be a good game. But I think the weak game last week should help the Elks, where the Alouettes haven't had a game at all. But then someone said, look, the Alouettes have film tape to study on the Elks. So who knows? Don't know, mate. I think Elks just.
You know, I will admit, though, I'm guilty of it myself. I get stopped, too. Like, people will stop me. I get a drink and stuff. But, like, I'll watch the games. Like, I'm attentive to the games. But sometimes, like, I remember going to, like, Bills games and stuff. And I'd see the replay after, and I was like, I didn't even know I was there. I'd be like, wow, I don't remember that happening. Like, you know what I mean? It's like one of those type of deals. Yeah, it's good. I like that. He goes home to watch the game after. You know, Mick, just because someone taps you on the shoulder, though, or says nice hat, doesn't mean you don't have to watch the game. Because that's the thing. They always do the pan shots at Edmonton at the games, and you're never in the shot. You're at every game, but we never see you. And I said just once by chance, like you're never in the stands. Like not once have we ever seen you on TV there. But you're at every game.
Well, I mucked up when I took Kawhi Leonard. I stood in the end zone. I should have got on the 50-yard line. But, yeah, we're in the end zone under the scoreboard. It's a social event. And like I said, I like the end zone because I can read the quarterback play and I kind of learn more about the game. Well, the plays that I do watch, right?
Mick, all right. All right, we got a break coming up. All right, Mick, get your AFL picks. I hope you got a couple of good ones. Get your AFL picks ready on the other side, and then we'll get Mick out of here. We'll take a look at the Saturday board NFL preseason before we're done here. UFC off this week. The Late Night Anger Management class. This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. Bring it.
You're listening to Sports Rage Late Night with Gabe Morency on Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 204.
Late Night Anger Management class. This is Sports Rage. I've got a jersey and I screwed up and it's causing me problems now because I went old school, Mick. I don't know if you know who he is, but we'll proceed for people in the chat. Swervin' Mervin. Raider fans will know who I'm talking about. Swervin' Mervin Fernandez. Swervin' Mervin Fernandez, who is he's the best BC Lion wide receiver ever. Well, along with G. Roy Simon. But, you know, like Fernandez was like, you know, put them lines on the map type stuff at the time. Like, you know, just a legend. Legend at the time. Member of the BC Lions Wall of Fame. The Lions have always had great receivers. But, yeah, Swervin' Mervin Fernandez, former professional and professional football player, played wide receiver for the Los Angeles Raiders and the BC Lions. A two-time CFL All-Star, a member of the BC Lions Wall of Fame. He's named the BC Lions all-time dream team. Man, him and G. Roy Simon would be a load to deal with. Grey Cup champion, CFL MVP, great football player. I was a big fan of his when I was a kid, Swervin' Mervin. He was a badass. And number 24. You know, strange number to wear for a receiver at the time, number 24. So we got an old school BC Lion Mervin Fernandez jersey. If I could ever track it down now. If I could track it down. Cost me $210. Cost me $210. So yeah, we went old school. So I'm fired up, Mick. I'm ready for tomorrow's game. I wish it was on now. I'm telling you right now, yeah, Vernon Adams Jr., guys, the quarterback from Montreal. And if you remember Vernon Adams, he played at Eastern Washington. And then, like most people at Eastern Washington, they transfer to the Ducks. So then he went to the Ducks. He was a starting quarterback for Oregon for the year. And he's deemed a little too small for the NFL, which I guess, he is. He's smaller than Kyler Murray. He's one of those smaller sort of modern quarterbacks. But he does have like this sort of it factor. He's just a winner, the kid. And he's a damn good quarterback. I'm telling you. I think it's going to be a really close game. I see there were 6.5s out there, Mick. Give me the Montreal Alouettes plus 6.5. I think it's going to be a tight game.
Oh, wow. Well, they don't put the odds up half the time. They don't see the odds. But, yeah, 6.5. That is interesting. But, yeah, and then the other game, like Tiger Cats have got injuries, but I think I might stick with them over the Riders. I can't see the Tiger Cats going 0-2, but Mikey, our mate, is worried about some injuries at the Tiger Cats. So CFL doubleheader should be a great Saturday. And the Broncos versus the Vikes at 2 p.m. my time.
Yeah, a big day of football. Big day of football. All right, so before we get you out of here, Mick, what about overnight football in Australia? You got any winners for us?
Oh, Gabe, I'll be honest, the last 5 weeks has been the ridiculous craziness, worst ever picks I've ever gone. My best bet normally comes off, but last week it didn't. The Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears did not cover against the Crows. They beat them, but for something different, let's go take these teams 1-39, and it pays about even money. So take the Cats, the Bombers, the Swans and the Eagles at 1-39. There's only 2 weeks left, and the team if they win between 1 and 39 points, it's an option on the betting sites.
Okay. That's kind of. What does that pay? Well, it's kind of vague. Between 1 and 39 points, the winning margin.
You don't see that on FanDuel because it pays about even money plus 100, which is better than it's a better option than some of these spreads because these teams should make the finals and have all got something to play for. But it has been ridiculous, stupid the last 5 weeks. I admit it.
Okay, so I know it's a whacked out league. It's fun to watch, but it's crazy to bet on. So I'm betting all these NFL futures and college futures. I don't mind taking a crack and putting an Aussie pick in and parlaying it with it. So I'll get better value. If I take the Denver Broncos under 8.5, I don't know, maybe I'll add Brisbane to it. Yeah, what about Sydney over North Melbourne? Like, who's going to win? Brisbane or Collingwood? Is Brisbane going to win the game outright?
Yeah, they'll win it. But the plus minus is a bit tricky, you see. That's why I often like the 1-39. The Lions will probably smash the Magpies, I'm thinking.
All right. What about the Kangaroos and the Swans?
Yeah, interesting. Swans are in the playoffs. They're going to finish 5th or 6th. They probably won't get a top 4. It's a bit of a danger game. They're resting Buddy Franklin. Roos have been on the up. Swans should win, but a bit risky on that one.
All right, so that was risky. What about the Demons and the Crocs? That's Clam Chowder versus Mick Aussie.
Demons will smash us. It's in Melbourne. Demons will win if they got their attitude right. They're on top of the ladder, and the Dogs were struggling right now, so Demons will win. Not sure if they'll cover, though. They're up and down, mate. They're a bit arrogant. They think they're a bit better than they are sometimes. So Demons will win, but maybe not cover.
Man, they're big favorites in this game. It was like 45-point favorites.
Yeah. There's no value there, right?
What about Gold Coast and the Bombers? Is that a lock? Essendon? No, right? No, that's not a lock.
Well, Bombers are a chance for the playoffs, you see, so they should win that. It's down in Geelong. The Suns are up and down. You never know with them. I think the Bombers, I would take the Bombers to win 1-39. That was one of my best bets.
What about the West Coast Eagles and the Dockers?
Oh, my God, the Derby, the Perth Derby. Your Eagles have been disgraceful, but the Dockers have got so many injuries as well. Last time I thought the Dockers might win the Derby, and they absolutely got smashed. I picked the Eagles to win, not real confident, and the guy on Twitter for the Eagles banned me, and I said the coach, the Twitter algorithm doesn't understand figure of speech. I said I should kick the coach in the leg as a joke, like, smack someone in the head as a figure of speech. So I got banned. I was in Twitter jail again for 12 hours. Second time. I've got to be careful with that. Yeah, the algorithms don't understand, sarcasm. So the West Coast Eagles weren't happy with me. I said that Adam Simpson is the worst coach of the year. Because your
Nick.
Eagles have still got a lot of stars, mate.
I'm sorry. I had to report you for that. I can't have you threatening the West Coast Eagles. I reported you on Twitter. That's why. What are you doing? No, I did not. You got banned by the West Coast Eagles. You got reported and you're blocked. Did they block you after, or they just reported you?
Well, I had a few beers Wednesday night, and the Eagles' Twitter started quoting quotes from the coach, Adam Simpson, and they got a star team, mate. I reckon the coach has not adjusted to the new rules of run, run, run. So they go slow, slow, slow. I reckon he's the worst coach of the year. Does the first reply on about 4 of their tweets saying the coach is terrible. So he probably reported me. And then my terminology of he needs a kick in the knee, they didn't understand it. So like I said, the Twitter algorithm banned me. I was in jail for 12 hours.
Kicking the knee's not that bad. You didn't say I want to kick him in the teeth or something. That's a little hardcore. Yeah, I wouldn't have banned you for that, Mick. I would have banned you. The guy deserves a kick in the knee. Okay, deserves a kick in the knee. All right, so I'll tell you what. So West Coast, they're hanging on right now to the last playoff spot. They're hanging on to the last playoff spot. They got a little bit of a cushion, Mick. They're up by 4 points on the Bombers. They're up by 4 points on the Bombers, but they're a bunch of losers, like you said. It's a real problem. I told you, man, a couple of years ago, they're getting soft, this team. But they did hang around. They played well. They lost against Melbourne, but they did hang around. They got smashed by Collingwood the week before that. That's the thing, Mick. Even when West Coast win, it's not easy for them. But that's a tough game. I'm not putting it in the parlay, or the multi, as we should say. I don't trust them. I'm not ruining this football future parlay. I'm not trusting them, Mick. I got to pass. It pains me to say it, but you're saying the Dockers have a ton of injuries?
Yeah, the Dockers, they might be an outside, very, very slight chance to make the 8, but they got injuries, and the Eagles just kind of beat them nearly all the time over there in the Perth Derby, they call it. Sounds like a horse race, doesn't it?
Yeah. The Dockers got absolutely smashed last week, too, 118-54. 118-54. The total's 157.5 in this game. All right, I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. I'm going to put Melbourne, and I'm going to put Brisbane in the parlay, and I'm going to put this with the under with the Denver Broncos. I'm not trying to pick on your team, Mick. I didn't do this because of you. I do like this play. I don't think the Broncos win 9 games. It's hard to win 9 games. And you play the Chiefs twice. So, are you going to beat the Chiefs? Probably not. And then, so you play the Chiefs twice. Then you got 15 games left, and you got to win 9 of the 15. That means they got to go 9-6 against the rest of the league. And the Chargers are good. The Raiders are your guys' rivals. You guys always play tough games against each other. I don't know. I think the Broncos are probably 8-9, not 9-8. I don't think they suck, Mick. I think the Broncos will be in a mix, but 9 wins, a lot of wins, Mick. Can't wait for that Giant game, Mick. That's going to be a big one because I'm going to be betting on the future I'm going to have to be pulling for the Giants, buddy. I hate to tell you.
Nah, the Giants are no good in your old home. Anyway, I was wondering, I thought you might be going back to live in crazy New York, but I see you settled in Vancouver. And even though I sent you a picture this week with you and Rob Dibble when I was filming, happy 55th birthday, mate. So I hope you had a great day and night.
Number one, I don't settle anywhere. Number two, I'm not 55.
Oh, really? Sorry about that.
Yeah. You speak for yourself. Siski, what are you? You're moving on 60. Yeah, speak for your own age, Mick. Speak for your own age. Mick Aussie. 55. We might have to expose Mick's real age.
Expert perspectives and actionable insights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, as per the last 7 or so weeks, I finished my podcast with readings from my grandfather's magnificent book from number 6 to number 8 as he left Belfast and is now working in Rudao on the west coast of South Australia, and he just played his first tennis game. Unbelievable. I'm hardly leaving any of this out. It's such great reading. Here we go. As harvest time was now on, I had to learn how to control a stripper, a box-looking implement on 3 wheels with a set of beaters driven by a big wheel. These beaters knocked the heads off the wheat stalks and threw them into the box. This machine was pulled by a tractor driven by Cecil Johnson. When full, the box was emptied on the ground and afterwards cleaned by a winnipper when the grain was put into bags and carted to the railway siding. After harvest was completed, Mr. Johnson went over to Adelaide. I did not know at the time that his main object in going to Adelaide was to have me transferred to the mainland. It appeared that he was unable to pay my wages as the harvest was not good and the price of wheat was very low. He did not let me know that he was unable to keep me on. If he had informed me of his position, I would have been able to obtain employment at the Elliott's farm. But as he had me transferred to a nephew's farm at Salisbury, I had to go. I was not very happy about this transfer as I was becoming a part of the great Australian outback. I loved the people and the great sociable way that they lived. As I was just settling down to their way of life, I felt very lonely to have to go and make new friends in another part of the state. So it was back to Rudale to board the train for Port Lincoln and then across the Gulf to Port Adelaide. As the immigration department was transferring me, they had to pay my fare and accommodation expenses. I spent the night at West Coffee Palace in Hindley Street. The tariff was 5 shillings for bed and breakfast, consisting of a bowl of porridge, 2 poached eggs on toast, bread and marmalade, followed by a cup of coffee. Oh, my grandfather loved porridge. I used to eat it with him. Next morning, I was interviewed by immigration department officials. I told them that I had no reason to come over here to work as I had been offered work on the Elliott's farm at Tucky. I also told them that I understood that the man they were sending me to Salisbury was a hard man to work for. This I was using as a lever as I had made up my mind to get back to the West Coast. Because I still had 2 years of my contract to serve, and as the department was holding part of my wages, I had to tread very carefully. My new employer, I discovered later, was a nephew by marriage to Mr. Johnson. The property was a 400 to 500 acre farm on the main North Road where the city of Elizabeth now stands. Wow. The house is still there and can be seen from the road. The main farming here was hay, which was carted to the chaff mills in Payneham. This, of course, was still in the days of horses, and it was very hard work loading the flat-top trolley with sheaves of hay as tall as myself. This man was certainly a slave driver, as I was required to rise at 4:30 a.m. and help yoke the team so that he could get on his way to town. Then I had to milk 3 or 4 cows before breakfast. By this time it was nearly 8:30, so you can imagine a lad of 18 just about on the verge of collapse from hunger. The meals here were not as good as on the coast. The boss sat at the end of the table with a loaf of bread, and every slice had to be asked for. Many a time I went hungry rather than to keep asking for more. Of course, I was receiving the large sum of £4, $2 per week, and I was bloody well earning its every cent. Fantastic. Hey, you young kids? Hope you enjoy this. Hey, we get it easy now, don't we?